We hear it all the time. Small businesses are the backbone of America. Starting a business is one thing. Staying in business is about learning. That's where education, access, and opportunity come in. My next guest knows that journey firsthand. After facing his own challenges as a young entrepreneur, he made it his mission to prepare the next generation differently. For more than 2 decades, he's been building a pipeline of future business leaders through the Texas Expo. Jerome D. joins us along with James Harris and Donald Stewart to share the benefits of this event for those just opening their doors and those trying to keep them open. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
I cannot help myself. Every time I hear Jerome D. you either need to have some Luther Vandross albums out or be a radio DJ. I love that. But yeah. All right, so I touched on the fact that you started out with all the great intentions as a young entrepreneur, and you always hear young people say, I wanna, but they don't have the foundation to stand on to do the I wanna. That happened with you.
Yeah, I went to college. My parents told me to get a good education, get a good job. And when I got to college, I realized, I don't know if there's really such thing as a good job, and I want to start a business. But I had no training. I just thought hard work would get me through. I didn't understand principles of entrepreneurship, wealth building, and as a result, by the time I was 26 years old, I was in the hole over $100,000. $100,000. So I wanted to teach young people the foundations of business and financial literacy so they can have a leg up on being a success in life.
And I love what you did there, because for some people, because financial debt can bury people and they never come out of it. Like they just fall apart, right? Instead, you said, okay, I'm going to take this as a life lesson and try to warn other people and then learn those applications I should have known to begin with. All right, but then there was the thought that I'm going to make it an expo. I'm going to make it bigger than just saying, hey, here's what you need to know. You demonstrate what people need to know.
Yeah, so we started the Texas Expo in 2023. Our first event was, 2003.
Yeah.
First event was 2004, and we wanted to provide a platform to help entrepreneurs to promote their products and services on a larger scale. Then we went more to the programming side. We were following the model in the Indiana Black Expo. So we started our FEW, which stands for Finance, Entrepreneurship, and Wealth Development Program, as well as our Aspire Youth Entrepreneurs Summer Camp to empower young people. We began to give out scholarships. We help, of course, establish business owners, small business, to help them grow as well, but we understand that the foundation is the youth, and we want to prepare the pipeline for the next 20 and 30 years of entrepreneurs and businesses that can then give back to the communities that they live in.
Yeah, and make money, right? And we know that certain communities are kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit differently than others because of just historically, right? Yeah. We know with a lot of African American families, for example, it's like where you worked for somebody. But there was a time we had all our own businesses, and that's just the way it was. But then you end up working for somebody, but in this way you can own the company and you hire somebody to work for you.
Yeah, of course. That's really the vision. And when you look at companies like HEB, and they started out as a family-owned organization, and now they're a billion-dollar company, and now they have a commitment for helping organizations such as Texas Expo and those that support the youth. That's their vision, their mission.
Speaking of HEB, Mr. James Harris, all right.
Good morning.
You all do a lot of great stuff in the community, but in this case, you never know when you're helping to raise up your next employees, your next leadership teams.
Absolutely, and I love working with Jerome simply because of he started as a small company. HEB started as a small company, and he's helping youth. HEB loves youth, and they give scholarships as one of our bailiwicks. In addition to that, I work with small businesses all the time because it's about developing that local small field that we
see that, the result of that on all the grocery store shelves all the time.
Yes, absolutely, the Quest program. Yes.
Yeah. All right, and tell me about your background and how you ended up working in the business that you're in right now, and what the expectations were for you in terms of how you would present yourself.
I would say similar to Jerome, the parents to go to college, get a good job so you can make money and take care of your family. I was fortunate enough to work for several companies that allowed me to hone those skills, and I matriculated down to Texas and got involved with HEB, working with small businesses, working in the community, so it's a real glove fit for me.
Yeah, all right. You say glove fit? A real glove fit. I like that. All right. Okay, so Donald, you're an assistant superintendent, Sheldon ISD, and you would to bring financial literacy, which is so critical. In fact, I think this year is the first year that financial literacy is actually being mandated, right, the next school year to be taught, because before it was like, it was by choice. We saw in 2008, we don't know about money. We don't know what interest is on a credit card, none of that type of stuff. But oftentimes when it comes to education, oftentimes we'll say it's kind of the failure of education is the pipeline to prison. You are investing in the education being the pipeline to wealth and supporting oneself, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's been a real unique experience that we've been able to have with partners, community partners. And you spoke on personal financial literacy, and that really focuses on how you kind of run your household. However, what we're getting with this partnership is the ability for students to see really how to generate wealth and to be in the room with those who do that. That exposure is valuable.
Yeah, to think bigger.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What are the biggest issues you think that kids are facing today in terms of once they graduate? As much as sometimes kids may go, oh, I have to go to school. Once you graduate, you're out in the world.
Yes.
And so you don't have that insulation anymore. You got to make some decisions, most of them, right? So what is the biggest challenge you think kids are facing?
I think it's the uniqueness to the economic environment that they're coming into. We really do have to prepare them really to be successful. When they come into the world, they don't have 7 adults pushing them to do all their work every day, their parents getting them up in the morning. They're being faced with having to make choices in a very tough economic environment instantly. So the goal is to prepare them as best possible to compete, because they are going to be competing. They're going to look to their left, they're going to look to their right as they go for a job interview and realize I'm competing against these individuals. And so coaching that spirit, and that's where the partnership really helps. The students are actually able to get into the room and experience a curriculum that coaches them through how money makes money. And it begins to change their lens and scope of what they can really do and achieve. But the other portion of that is they don't walk into any situation just unaware and ignorant to what they could possibly be doing. And that in itself is invaluable. It really is.
All right, tell us what they can expect at the expo, because there's a whole lot of moving parts here.
Well, it starts out on Thursday, May 14th. We have our executive dinner at Coco D Restaurant in River Oaks, and then we have our AI in the Age of Business workshop on Friday, May 15th at the Hilton Americas, followed by a corporate awards luncheon where we have the CEO of Red Lobster coming, Damola at Mullican. And then on Saturday, May 16th, that's our youth empowerment event. We're giving out over $8,000 in scholarships. There's going to be a college fair. There's going to be STEM and AI, and that's free. So go to texasexpo.net. You can register for free for the youth events and get the tickets for the luncheon and coffee and conversation and all the other stuff that we have going on.
And hear from Damola, Damola is Nigerian born, if I remember.
Came to this country at 9 years old.
Dad's a doctor, mom's a pharmacist. He had no choice.
No choice.
In fact, he probably had to have his 5th PhD by the time he's in 3rd grade. Anyway, but so it's just a really great positive atmosphere that says you can do anything with the right information to build whatever house you want as long as your foundation is strong. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, Texas Expo Summer Celebration Trade Show and Festival is happening May 14th through the 16th at the Hilton Americas Hotel. Registration, as he mentioned, is free, but spots are filling up fast. So to learn more about the event or about Texas Expo, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.